Hello viewers, this is Teacher Bernard. So today in Mathematics grade 7, I'll be taking you in fractions. So we'll discuss what are fractions. So the first thing that you need to understand whenever you hear this topic fractions is the definition itself. So our first question there, it says, what is a fraction? So what you need to understand, we define a fraction as a number with a numerator and a denominator. A fraction, this is a number with a numerator and a denominator. So a fraction is a number with a numerator and a denominator. What do we mean when we say a numerator and a denominator? So for you to understand these two terms, you need to know that a fraction is expressed in form of A over B. So what do we mean when we say when we say A over B? So this A that you are seeing on top, this is what we call the numerator. While this B that is at the bottom, this is what we call the denominator. So in your exams, they won't give you A over B, no. So this is just to express how a fraction looks like. But in the actual sense, they'll say where there is A, we can replace with 1, and then where there is B, we can replace with 2. So meaning this one that you are seeing here, this is what we call the numerator, while this 2, which is at the bottom, is known as the denominator. So let us move on to our second question. So our second question there, it says, what name is given to the following fractions? What name is given to the following fractions? So what you need to understand about fractions, there are three main types of fractions. There are three main types of fractions. So the first type of fraction, so when you look at our first question there, we have 1 over 2. 1 over 2. So what does it mean? Whenever the smaller number it is on top and the bigger number it is at the bottom, this is what we call a proper fraction. Whenever the smaller number is on top and the bigger number it is at the bottom, this is what we call a proper fraction. B. So B, this is 3 over 2. 3 over 2. So question B is the opposite of question A. So what you need to understand, when the bigger number it is on top and then the smaller number it is at the bottom, this is what we call an improper fraction. An improper fraction. So whenever the bigger number it is on top and then the smaller number it is at the bottom, this is what we call an improper, where the opposite of an improper fraction is a proper fraction. So do not be confused. And then question C there, we have been given 3 as a whole number, and then we have 1 over 2. We have 1 over 2. So like we earlier stated, we said this number which is on top is known as the numerator, and this number which is down here is known as the denominator. So whenever you have such a question where you have three things, you have a whole number, a numerator, and a denominator, this type of a fraction is what we call a mixed fraction. So whenever you have these three things, a whole number, numerator, and a denominator, this is what we call a mixed fraction. Now let us move on to calculations. So question 3 there, it says change the following into an improper fraction. Change the following into an improper fraction. So when you are changing any question, under fraction, the first thing you need to identify what you have been given. So according to what we just said here, we have said whenever you have these three things, this is what we call a mixed fraction. So how do you change a mixed fraction into an improper fraction? So whenever you are changing a mixed fraction into an improper fraction, the first thing that you need to do, you need to multiply these two with the denominator. So you multiply the whole number by the denominator. So you say 2 times 3, and then the final answer that you get now, you need to add it with your numerator there. So you multiply the whole number with the denominator, and then you add with the numerator there. So when you say 2 times 3, it will give us 6. And then 6 plus 1 now, it will give us 7. So it will be 7 over the same denominator which is here, which is 3. So this is what we call an improper fraction. Question B. So we are still changing a mixed fraction into an improper fraction. So how do we change? So we still apply the same principle. So the first thing, we need to multiply the whole number by the denominator, and then after multiplying the whole number by the denominator, you add it with the numerator. So when you say 3 times 1, that will give us 3. So any number multiplied by 1, it's 3. So 3 times 1, it will give us 3. And then 3 plus 5, that will give us 8. So it will be 8 over the same denominator which is here, which is 1, as your answer. Question 4. Question 4, it says, change the following into a mixed fraction. Change the following into a mixed fraction. So question 3, we were changing from a mixed fraction into an improper fraction. But question 4 here, we have been given an improper fraction, and then now we need to change it back into a mixed fraction. So how do we change an improper fraction into a mixed fraction? It is very simple. So what you need to understand, so we pronounce this as 5 over 2. 5 over 2, meaning this over sign that you are seeing here, it means division. So you are just going to divide this 5 by the 2. So you divide this 5 by the 2. So how many times does 2 go into 5? So 2 into 5, it enters there 2 times, which is 4, remainder 1. So that remainder that you have, it will be your numerator. So you said 5 into 2 into 5, it enters there 2 times, remainder 1, over the same denominator, which is 2, as your answer. So this is how we change an improper fraction into a mixed fraction. Question B. So we are still changing this into a mixed fraction. So this is 13 over 5, meaning 13 divided by 5. So how many times does 5 go into 13? So 5 into 13, it enters there 2 times, which is 10, remainder 3. So that remainder that you have, it will be our numerator. So you say remainder 3 over the same denominator, which is 5. So this is what you need to understand about fractions. So these are the basics in fractions. This is the foundation of fractions in mathematics. So now this is your exercise. So the exercise, it is based on what we have done here. So thank you very much, and I hope that you attempt the exercise. Thank you very much.